João never imagined that that vacation trip to Italy would change his life forever. He was a young man with brown hair, honey-colored eyes, an easy smile, and a calm demeanor of someone who always observes the world around him. He lived in a small town in the interior of Texas, in the United States, and was about to start college for engineering. It was his first trip to Europe, and he felt a mix of anxiety and excitement as he walked through the streets of Rome, marveling at every detail, the fountains, the squares, the irresistible aroma of freshly brewed coffee. Daisy, for her part, came from a coastal town in California. With long blonde hair, sun-kissed golden skin, intense blue eyes, and a spontaneous way of smiling at the world, she was making the most of her last summer before art school. Always curious, Daisy loved exploring new places, tasting different flavors, and talking to people from all walks of life. On that sunny morning, she got lost in the alleys of Trastevere, enchanted by the colors of the flowers on the balconies and the music echoing through the narrow streets. Fate brought their paths together in an almost magical way. But before we continue, take a moment to subscribe to our channel and help us reach 1,000 subscribers. Activate the notification bell to be alerted about new love stories. João was sitting in a small cafe, savoring a cappuccino, when Daisy walked in, laughing at something the waiter had said in Italian. Their eyes met, and in that instant, time seemed to slow down. She ordered a coffee, sat at the table next to him, and minutes later, they were already talking like old friends. They talked about their cities, dreams, tastes, fears, and plans. They discovered they had a lot in common, despite their differences. The world seemed smaller and more welcoming at that moment. The following days were like a dream for João and Daisy. Together, they visited the Colosseum, tossed coins into the Trevi Fountain, walked hand in hand along the banks of the Tiber River, and shared plates of pasta in cozy restaurants. They laughed, talked late into the night, shared secrets, and when they least expected it, they were in love. The summer in Italy became the perfect backdrop for a young and intense love, the kind that makes the heart beat faster and butterflies dance in the stomach. But like every journey, that one also came to an end. With heavy hearts, João and Daisy said goodbye at the airport in Rome, promising to stay in touch. He would return to Texas, she to California, and both would begin a new phase in their lives: college. The fear of distance was real, but the desire to make it work was even greater. They decided to try a long-distance relationship, trusting that the feelings that united them would be stronger than the miles that separated them. In the beginning, everything was new. Messages exchanged at all times, long calls during the night, letters sent with small gifts and souvenirs from the trip. João and Daisy made a point of sharing every detail of their daily lives: the classes, the new friends, the discoveries, and even the small frustrations. They dreamed together about the next meeting, planned trips, and talked about the future. However, as time went by, the routine began to weigh heavily. The different schedules, the college commitments, the parties and events that each one participated in their cities, the longing was constant, and sometimes insecurity hit hard. Daisy missed João's embrace, the eye-to-eye conversations, the touch of hands. João, in turn, struggled against loneliness and the temptation to get carried away by the present moment. It was then that Maria entered the scene. She was João's classmate in college, a brunette with green eyes, friendly and determined. From the first semester, Maria showed interest in João, always willing to help him with his studies, inviting him to go out with the group of friends, and gradually trying to get closer. João noticed Maria's affection, but his heart remained loyal to Daisy. Even in the face of her advances, he stood firm, making it clear that he was committed and that his love for Daisy was genuine. The years went by, and João and Daisy learned to deal with the challenges of a long-distance relationship. They met whenever they could, during vacations, on long holidays, or on quick weekend trips. Each reunion was a celebration, a reminder that love endured through time and distance. They walked together along beaches, trails, and different cities, collecting memories and further strengthening the bond that united them. During this time, João never stopped dreaming of Daisy. Even when doubts arose, even when longing tightened, he knew she was the woman he wanted to spend the rest of his life with. Daisy, for her part, felt the same. With each farewell, the certainty that it was worth waiting increased. They supported each other, encouraged each other, and, above all, loved each other in a deep and sincere way. 5 years passed like this, between meetings and farewells, laughter and tears, plans and dreams. Until one day, João made a decision. He called Daisy and with a voice full of emotion, extended the invitation that would forever change their story. "Shall we go back to Italy, to the place where it all began? I want to marry you there, in that setting that marked the beginning of our love." Daisy was speechless for a few seconds, feeling her heart race. Tears of happiness streamed down her face, and she replied without hesitation, "Yes, João, I want to marry you in Italy. I want to relive every moment by your side and start a new life together." The preparations for the wedding were full of anticipation and emotion. They chose a small village in Tuscany, surrounded by vineyards and fields of sunflowers, with an old stone church and a stunning view of the hills. Friends and family traveled from the United States to celebrate this special moment, bringing with them joy, love, and good vibes. On the big day, Daisy entered the church dressed in white, with her blonde hair flowing in waves and a radiant smile. João was waiting for her at the altar, emotional, with his honey-colored eyes shining with happiness. The sun illuminated the interior of the church, creating a magical and welcoming atmosphere. They exchanged sincere vows, promised eternal love, and celebrated the strength of a feeling that withstood time, distance, and difficulties. The ceremony was marked by tears of emotion, smiles, hugs, and much happiness. The guests were moved to hear the story of João and Daisy, a couple who proved that true love can overcome any obstacle. After the ceremony, everyone gathered in a blooming garden where they toasted to the happiness of the newlyweds, danced under the stars, and celebrated the beauty of life and love. João and Daisy, now husband and wife, walked together through the streets of the village, reminiscing about the early days of their romance, the walks hand in hand, the shared dreams. They knew that the journey would not always be easy, but they were certain that together they could face any challenge. Italy, which once was the backdrop of a summer love, was now a witness to a lifelong commitment. At the end of the night, while the party lights shone in the distance and the soft music rocked the guests, João and Daisy looked into each other's eyes and smiled. There, in that moment, they were certain that all the effort, all the waiting, and all the longing were worth it. Their love was real, strong, and capable of crossing oceans. The story of João and Daisy is a reminder that true love knows no boundaries. It is born in the most unexpected places, grows over time, withstands distance, and strengthens in the face of difficulties. It is made of patience, trust, respect, and above all, commitment. They show us that when two people are willing to fight for what they feel, no obstacle is too great. The important thing is to believe, persist, and never give up on a shared dream. As the moon illuminated the Italian landscape, João and Daisy danced together, feeling that this was just the beginning of a new and beautiful journey. Their love, forged among cobblestone streets, cozy cafes, and unforgettable landscapes, was now eternal. And forever, Italy would be the place where it all began, and where, at last, they became one heart. May the story of João and Daisy inspire hearts to never give up on love, to believe in reunions, and to cherish every moment with those they love. Because, in the end, what really matters is living a great love story, one that neither time nor distance can erase. Share this video with your friends and leave your like.